Hi everyone, I'm Erika Stinchcomb on Team Westside Discs. Here are some of my go-to discs that I will be using all throughout the 2021 season. Well, these are my swords and a sorcerer. So I mostly throw swords off a tee. I'd say about 80% of my shots. These are probably the two that I throw most. So I throw in a hybrid plastic, which for me is kind of right in between a tournament and a VIP in stability. It has a ton of glide. You can get it to flip up and ride, and it still, at least for my arm speed, has some fade. So this is what I'm throwing most of the time. I usually carry two hybrids. And then the chameleon is really nice for windy rounds. I mean, it's not gonna withstand like a super heavy headwind, but if there's just a touch of breeze and I still want to get my max distance, I'm throwing chameleon. And then I do have a lightweight 165 tournament that I'll carry sometimes, just for variety, and I do better with like a huge Anheuser shot when it's a little bit lighter weight. And then if I'm not reaching for a sword, I usually reach for the sorcerer. So this is my disc where you want it to go flat and then go right without ever fading back. So you're gonna see me reaching for these discs on almost every single hole. Moving on to fairway drivers, these are my main two, stag and a hatchet. Stag is gonna be maybe a little bit stable when you first get it, and it's gonna fade out to your left. But if you spend some time with it, this is gonna be dead straight, great through tunnels, nice and flat with maybe just a touch of finish. You can definitely get it to turn over and hold right, but for me, it's usually gonna fade back. This hatchet's been in my bag probably the longest of any disc in my bag. It's been about, I don't know, 3.5 years, 4 years. I call it tricky disc. It can hyzer flip like nobody's business. I'll release it here and it can still finish right. So it's touchy, but if I'm in trouble and I'm in the woods, I'm reaching for this guy to get out of trouble. These are both tournament. I have a couple backups of tournament for tricky disc here, but it takes a little bit of time to beat in, a lot less than the stag. I also carry a VIP stag, just when I need a little bit more fade, nice and straight and a little bit more fade. So, fairway drivers. All right, now I'm gonna talk about my mids. So I carry these three Westside molds primarily. Got a gatekeeper and a VIP plastic. This is gonna be my pretty stable disc. I'll usually release it flat or on a hyzer with the intention of a right to left moving shot that's gonna fade to the left. I can't really flip this over. I'm never gonna lose track of it. It's very reliable for me. I might bump up to something a little more stable in the wind, but generally this is my stable mid. I got a hybrid warship. The hybrid plastic versus the VIP is a little straighter if you spend some time breaking it in. So this is my straight, maybe a little bit of flip, maybe a little bit of fade, but nice and straight. And then I have a Tersus, also in this is a tournament plastic actually. This is a really great disc. I took it out for a while, and then my husband, who doesn't play a ton, put it in his bag, and I was like, man, I should revisit it. So I just put this back in. It is really straight with a little bit of finish when you first start with it. Spend some time with it, and it's gonna be dead straight or just like a slow turn and end to the right. So kind of, those are kind of the main slots: stable, straight, little understable. So for my putters, I have a couple throwing putters. If you have ever heard of any Westside discs, it's probably a Harp. Super reliable, nice and stable, great for backhand and forehand chip shots. You're never gonna turn it over, it's just gonna do right what you want, hyzer to the pin, super reliable. I also have a shield, which I throw pretty equally forehand and backhand, probably a little bit more forehand. It's a nice touchy disc. It's pretty straight to stable, but not as stable as the Harp. So definitely, that's a great one. And then this is my maiden. Super straight, just like on a rope. It's unbelievable. Give it a try. So I carry a couple plastics of this one. This is a VIP. And then I have a couple BT mediums that I putt with, and I have one BT medium that I throw with as well. The other two I forgot to mention are tournament plastic. It's just my preferred feel. So those were some of the discs that I'll be using the most throughout the 2021 season. I'm Erika Stinchcomb on Team Westside Discs. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's America with a K, 71262, my PDGA number.